Hi, second graders, and welcome back to Science in a Snack. I am back here with you to show you the conclusion of our experiment that we started. So we have to check on our ice cube in the tin foil, as well as our water that we put in the clay pot. All right? So first, let's start with our ice cube. Okay, so grab your science notebook and look down and reread your prediction. Remember, we put a solid, an ice cube, into a tin foil bowl that we made. And we let it sit in room temperature for an hour. What did you predict was going to happen? Now it's time to look at it. So here we go. I'm going to grab mine. Ooh, and I'm going to bring this down and show you. Does anybody see an ice cube in there? No. All I see is a puddle of water. It's a little hard maybe to see from you at home on the camera against the tin foil, but I can actually pour it right in there. What happened? The ice cube melted. So we started out with a solid, right? We let it out in the heat. Now, it wasn't super hot in my house, but we know that ice needs to be below freezing to stay ice. And well, with the heat in the home, it melted. And it changed its state of matter. It went from a solid to a liquid. So in my science notebook, your prediction might have been right. Great job. If not, that's okay. That's how we learn. I am going to write down next to where I said ice cube in tin foil in the kitchen. For observation, I'm going to write, I saw that the ice cube melted and turned into a liquid. It's important to use those science words. So I saw that the ice cube melted and turned into a liquid. Okay? So the process of the heat melted the solid ice cube and turned it into a liquid. What do you think if I were to put this now into the freezer? What do you think might happen? Well, let's see what happened to our water that we put in our clay bowl. So I just grabbed it out of my freezer just now. Here's our clay bowl. Boys and girls, look at that. What did it turn into? I'm gonna see if I can take it out carefully. Let's see. This is why we use the clay, because we can actually bend the clay back. It softens up a little bit. If you just took yours out of the freezer, you might need to like wait a minute until it softens a little. Look at that. I made a piece of ice. So now what happened was the reverse. So we had our liquid and we put the temperature to a cooling temperature. We put it in the freezer and it cooled for 4 hours and turned into a piece of ice. Now you may say that is an odd shaped piece of ice. But what do we know about liquids? Do you remember that when I poured the water into this clay bowl, liquid always takes the shape of the container it's in. So therefore, when I poured the liquid in, this was the shape of the bottom of my clay bowl, so it took on that shape. And look, do you see how it's dripping? It's already just out here in my home for just a couple of minutes, and already it's out below freezing, so it's beginning to change again, and it's beginning to melt. So if I were to leave this sit out in my kitchen, do you think that this would then turn back into a liquid? Boys and girls, we call those changes reversible, okay? I can take water that just melted from my ice cube and I could put this in the refrigerator and it'll turn back into a solid again. Or I can take my solid of ice and leave it back out into my kitchen and it will turn into a liquid again. That's called a reversible change, okay? So scientists, I would like you, I got my science notebook a little wet with my dripping. I would like you to write your observation that we just saw. So the water in the clay bowl in the freezer, I saw that the water froze and became I need a good science word, solid. So it changed from a liquid to a solid. So, boys and girls, thank you so much for hanging out with me today and for doing this investigation. If you were able to do this investigation at home, please don't forget to clean up your workspace, okay? I'll see you next time.